Is it live? Okay, there we go. We're fine. Okay. Woo, gotcha. Anyway. Woo, Irkituki saying, can you see me, guys? I think you can see me, ne? But anyway. Dumelang, Sanbonani, Macheroni, Huyenant, Molweni. Oh, the Hang says it's Ndi Macheroni. Sorry, guys, if I got it wrong. My name is Katleho Buntle Mutingwe. So welcome back to Around the Table Conversations with KBM, which is myself. Hello, Jack. Thank you for joining, my friend. Actually, first time I'm seeing your name here, so that kind of got me very excited. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining the Around the Table conversation. You know, my friends are making fun of me in the comments, and I'm like, these guys are just not letting me be great. Hello, Josi. Yes, I'm Minnie Mouse, because I took a Snapchat earlier of me in the Minnie Mouse Snapchat, and I was like, ooh, I'm waiting for my Mickey. So like now these ones are just making fun of me. But anyway, guys, thank you for lightening up the show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to my shows. Thank you for always engaging, and welcome. I mean, we are on episode 7. So we've pushed, man. We've done a really great job, and we're really excited to obviously be having the conversations with you guys watching and the engagement. Hey, Slindile, I see you there. And I know today's topic is going to be heavy. I've had a long day myself. And I know my co-host has also had a long day herself. But just yesterday, I was speaking to one of the guests. I actually spoke to 2 of them. And the one guest I was speaking to, I'm like, sure, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I want to have this conversation now, because I don't know if I'm going to offend people. And all these insecurities just came through, and then I was having another conversation with the other guest, and I was like, geez, I'm really not confident about today, and I don't know how I feel. I don't know what I need to do with myself, but I guess all these things come up because we are all learning and because of the society that we live in, you know what I mean? So please don't think we are the perfectionists on the show, but we are really just having conversations amongst, today's Wednesday, so today's a female show. So yes, we're having conversations amongst women who have experienced rape, women who are in society trying to make our communities a better place to live in, and women that are always advocating for women empowerment, and just coming together. So it is kind of a broad conversation, and we might not touch on all the points, but I think the best thing is always to start, So welcome to everybody. My name is Katleho Buntle Mutingwe. Some call me Cat, some call me B. There's so many names that go about. Kiba, Ki, please say, oh God, I'm going to say it wrong. Kiabezwi. Oh, sorry. I was reading Kiba Abezwi. Sorry. Hello, Kiabezwi. We see you there. I'm so sorry for pronouncing your name wrong. But without wasting any time, I'm going to introduce my co-host, who I missed very much because she wasn't on the show last week because of load shedding. So hello, my Tando.
Hello, Ponchis. Hello, Ponchis. I'm great, thanks.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. But look, man, we soldier on because this is our baby, and we carry on.
So teen.
Hey?
So it's so teen. It's our baby. Let's work.
Yes, we really need to. But I'm glad to have you back on the show. Thank you so much.
To be back. Great to be back. I missed out on last week's show. But I did watch the show on Monday, so maybe you should tell me what stood out for you on Monday's show.
Monday's show was very interesting, and I'll tell you why Monday's show was interesting. Monday's show was interesting because I'm a mother of 2, right, with different mothers, and we were exploring millennial fatherhood, right? Okay. What is cool? What is not? What's the definition of a dad and a father? And please.
And I'm trying to do a watch party. I'm trying to do my watch party.
Okay, let me do my watch party while I'm talking to you as well.
Yeah.
I think the heavy part for me was that we are all still trying to figure ourselves out, right? And in that, we are trying to be better parents for our kids. Ne? You know what I mean? And because so much happening in the world or in our communities as well, awazi what's wrong, what's right, you know. But I liked when we did so I the poll was, is there a difference between a father and a dad? And 70% were like, yes, there's a difference. And then the other 30% was like, no, there's no difference, right? And our conclusion was, in our culture, as the Black culture, there's no difference. You know what I mean? So it all boils down to language, you know? So maybe so maybe the Caucasians have gotten to a point where there's an understanding to what father is and dad is, you know. But like we said, and all of that, you know. So I think that was like the icebreaker of it all. Yes, we live in a society where we speak English and we're taught in English and we're taught so much. However,
it's not everything that we have to translate.
Definitely. So that's what stood out for me. What were your views?
I was watching and I really, really got very interested because, you know, it's very difficult for me to engage in topics when it comes to children, you know, and parenting and fatherhood, because I don't have kids of my own. But when I was watching, I loved that you guys raised the point of dating when you are separated as parents. I found that very interesting. I realized from a perspective of it's difficult to bring normal bani into your child's life. I realized that struggle. It's a struggle that, like, because I'm an outside party and I feel like they're not understanding, you know, but now I see where men come from. Maybe I see where I should be a bit more fragile and a bit more understanding, which is what I love about these conversations and these episodes, because every week, every day, we gain perspective. It's just seeing different perspectives. Are you ready to call in our guest?
I am. Hi, Zabalaza. We see you. Hi, Lirato. We see a lot of people coming back onto the show as well, you know, regular engagers, you know. I think we need to do something for the people, but we'll think about it. We'll think about how we engage, you know. Maybe we can just have a whole party here as conversations, you know. But it would be, but it would be great to engage with our audience, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm ready.
It would be nice to have a live discussion.
Actually, ne?
Cool. Let's introduce our guests.
Yeah, let's see how we can do the live discussion. But anyway,
somewhat of a community dialogue. Something like that.
We can do it. If we started these conversations, I'm sure we can do it, ne? But anyway, let's introduce our guest without wasting any time, because time flies, guys, you know. But our first guest, hey? Okay, there's a lag between me and you. But anyway,
let's introduce the ladies.
Okay, cool. I'm going to start with Kat, right? Kat, the brand. I actually went to school with her. But we were never friends. I know
what school is this?
Waverly Girls High. So I think she was a grade or two lower than me. I don't remember, but I remember her from school. And it's weird because I remember I bumped into her at one place and I'm like, shit, I remember you from school. And she's like, yeah, my name's Katleho. I'm like, oh shit, yes, we have the same names. And then I remembered everything. Then I never got to forget her after that, you know. But Katleho is a young girl who is trying to make a difference in the community. So I don't know if she started or she's about to start this NPO, and this NPO kind of deals with social issues, you know, for the young people. So I think it's really great that she's on the platform, because the topic will allow us to then kind of break into the different sectors of how rape and the healing journey kind of affects the victim and those around them. So hello, Katli, welcome to
Hi. Hello. Hey, thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure.
Yes, Kat the brand.
How are you?
I'm good, and you guys?
Okay, thank you. Please let us know a bit about your organization and what is it that you do.
So this was born from a conversation between a friend of mine. We met at work and we instantly became friends. I think you'll remember, I think last year or the year before, there was this whole scourge of gender-based violence, and there were campaigns running up and down. And we sort of had a conversation and we decided, look, we have kids that are going to grow up in this society that we are in now, experiencing all of this that's going on. So how about we try and be of service, and see how we can better help the community that we live in, especially working with young boys and girls, to try and figure out where is the disconnect between what is going on now and what they are taught and what they grew up with, So from there, we're like, oh, cool, let's do it. And let's see how it goes. The entire plan was to actually kickstart stuff this year, but COVID got the better of us. But our ultimate goal is to actually be able to plant a seed that says, listen, this is not the way we are supposed to be living in fear, or the way we're supposed to be living as boys, thinking women are here for your usage and for you to do as you wish with them, We want to be able to say, this is where you are and this is who you are as a person. You need to know what your rights are as a young girl or a young boy. So it's just one of those things that I feel like we need to be agents of change in what we want to see in the world. I mean, who else to do it better than us, So, yeah.
I guess that fits.
I love the agents of change thoughts.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Okay.
Our next guest, please.
Who should I introduce first? Let me see. Nyadal. I'm going to introduce what we call a big sister. I know Tando and I could relate to that, and we both have our different experiences with her. You know what I mean? But I can tell you, for a lot of people who have been in Soweto or who grew up in Soweto or anywhere around or who have engaged with her, can tell you, Uguti, Mbi has always been a big sister. You know what I mean? And she's always so welcoming. She's an agent of change herself. You know what I mean? And she's always been an advocate of women empowerment, So Mbi, without wasting any time, hello, big sis.
Hello. Hi. Hello, ladies. Hello, everyone.
How are you? Can you hear us?
I can. Well, Kateho's broken. I missed your whole intro.
Okay, Tando's
you
back.
You missed the whole intro.
Oh,
is
really?
It yours?
Okay, it could be anyone, guys. As the network, like we always say on every show, like you never know with network and technology, things can just break, But welcome, Mbi. Apparently I missed the whole introduction, but I was introducing you as a big sister to everyone, and how you've just always been there and have always been an advocate of women empowerment. And it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. I mean, I haven't seen you in ages. And I was looking at our first picture. I actually had big hair. I don't know if you remember the afro. I had a big afro, and now I'm seeing
the network is acting up, and I don't know whose network it is. Kata, when you speak, I completely lose you.
Okay, maybe what you can do is...
Can you hear me though?
Yes. I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay.
I can also hear you.
Oh.
Do you want to log off and then log on again just so you're fine?
Should I log off?
Yes, maybe try that. Log off and log
please,
on.
Log off and come back again.
Okay.
Okay.
Then let's introduce our last guest so we can get the show going.
Okay, cool. Unewo. Okay, let me introduce her while she's on screen. How are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm good. How are you?
Hello, Neo.
Good, thank you. So, Neo, guys, I'm gonna introduce you. Unewo is our rape survivor. You know what I mean? But I've known Neo for years. I know that she's been through rape. I know that she's healed through it. I know that she's a mother of amazing little babies. And I don't know if she husband or still fiance. I don't know which is which. But I know she's within a family of some sort, So
I had to make it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So welcome to the show. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just going to cut this intro short because we need to introduce Mbali again, and so that we can get going with the show. Ne? So hello, Mbali. Can you hear us now?
You're perfect now.
Oh yeah. Tando, you're
Welcome
on
back
mute.
to Facebook, actually. Sorry, welcome back to Facebook. I know a lot of people are here to see you because they haven't seen you in a long time. We're very, very, very happy that you're coming back to a positive platform, a safe space to converse.
True.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Invite.
So ladies, usually before Sitala show, we like to keep it light. We like to see cool off, see comfortable by asking an icebreaker question. And I'll start with you, Kat. And today's question, we'd like to know what is your favorite kota combo?
Which cat? Catch the guest.
Oh, Cat's the brand. Hey, Katla. I did want to put it as you. Cat's the brand.
You must have the full name.
Sure.
Sorry, Cat's the brand. We'd like to know your favorite kota combo.
Yo, I'm a huge Kota fan. When I get a chance, I go in. But I think at this point, it would be the obvious an acha base with chips with nice spices, no sauces at all. I like a bit of an egg there and a poloniana, maybe even a burger patty, if you will, and a small yana Vienna on the side. Then, with cool drink, we are good to go.
That's a lot of meat.
How do you like your kota? Right?
I'm a mash. Acha, malpanyana, mince. That's the kota for me. The mash and mince from Shawela. Kota ya Hatlen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, kota ya Hatlen.
Nice. Mash and mince.
One of the most popular kotas in Soweto. Hey, won't come to Tandi kota ya Hatlen.
I'm
not sure about bread and mautwana combo, so no, I don't do
that. And that is why our skin is the way it is.
Oh, wow,
it's because of the mash.
I think I'm similar to Kat, so I'm more the chips, the acha, the Russian, the special, and the cheese. So where I buy it specifically, they do not use processed cheese. That's the reason why I go there. I don't do processed.
That's where I go.
Gaspaza.
Where's that?
Oh, Gaspaza. Is it? Yeah, it's Kilani.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So you got a malin so
manje about 23 rands, 24. I don't know. Haven't been in a while.
I know you like these kotas. How do you like it?
So I'm a Tinti's girl. Yes, definitely. You know, so Tinti's from my house was walk. Make it look phase one. So for me, Tinti's was the thing. So I've always been in Tinti's girl, guys. I mean, I live in North Kasach now. So if Angi Orlando West, then I'll go to Ntintis, you know what I mean? But like, I'm a full-on Ntintis girl. I'm loyal to that level as well. And your flavor and your kota combo, I know you don't like kota, but what's your kota typical combo?
I don't like kota because I don't like processed meat. But what I can stomach is acha, chips, definitely no sauces, and like a proper Russian and cheese. And it must be proper, man. It must be that Russian that oozes. You know the one that snaps, no iluma. That kind of Russian. Soft shit. Russian yeah. So I hardly ever eat kota because Asian fast.
Definitely. But anyway, guys, just to get
so ladies, I hope you're smiling. I hope you're not nervous anymore, so we can go.
Let's do this.
Okay. All right, cool. Tando, there's a 2-second lag going. So when you speak, just give it a pause and then, or else you can just log off and log on again. I don't know if she can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, cool. But anyway, guys, I think the first question is, what is rape? You know what I mean? Before we even thinking about the whole topic and thinking about what we're going to speak about and how we are going to speak about it, but just to sensitize everyone as well, we're aware that it's a very sensitive topic, so we will try our best to be as sensitive to everyone, to be very considerate. But because the show is all about conversations, we're here to try and have at least the honest conversations, or the conversations that will unpack some of the questions that we had, or just opinions of just to hear other people's opinions as well, and to kind of clarify other stereotypes that go around with rape as well, But like I said, I mean, Neo, if you could explain to us but before I start, when you ladies heard of the topic, ne? And I explained this topic to you, except you, Neo, because you are then a victim, askisi for kind of victimizing you out. But to Umbali, no, Kati.
Definitely not.
Mbali, when I told you about this topic, what's the first thing that came to mind?
Are we allowed to swear on the show?
Yes.
I said shit.
Yes.
And I hardly ever swear. And my eyes popped
Right.
out. And so the first thing also that came to mind is that I'm getting thrown at these topics that I'm not sure I'm emotionally prepared for. But I'll take on the challenge. But shit, the first word.
Yeah, no. And you, Katleho?
I think you saw I took a while to respond to you, and I'm just like, yo, because in my mind I felt like it's such a heavy topic, because it still weighs heavy on a lot of people's minds and people's hearts, and people that have survived rape, you know what I mean? So coming into it just as I am, without sort of being an expert in anything at all in the space, and coming forth as somebody that's willing to take a stand to help make a change, it was a bit hectic. I'm just like, okay, what do I even know about rape? Yes, I know what I know and what we've been taught, and but do you know enough to actually leave somebody with something to take home? It was a bit nerve-wracking, honestly, but I think one must always be ready to rise up to the challenge and have these difficult conversations no matter what.
Sure. And I mean, for you now, this is a topic that kind of resonates with you because you're a humanitarian, When I then told you that...
I'm sorry, I'm even opening up my ears from my book.
Oh,
for
so
this
you
conversation so nicely.
Okay, cool. What
Yeah,
were you?
I was happy. Oh, sorry. Yes, please continue. Sorry.
Okay, there's a lag between me and you.
Send me your questions so that I can answer fully.
Okay, cool. So what?
Okay, let me call in the meantime.
Okay, wait, hold on, Tando. Between you and Neo, there's a lag. So I'm asking with who's missing me and Islo Gupi. But let me just finish my question, right? Neo, when I obviously then came back to you to give you the feedback that this is the conversation that we're gonna have, and I know that this is something that is of interest to you. What came to your mind, But in the meantime, sorry, can I just pause there? To the audience watching, maybe in the conversation as well, maybe just give us opinions of what you think rape is to you. You know what I mean? I think I'd like the guests to also kind of respond before we respond so that we're able to tie in the conversations. But you may carry on with the answer. Sorry.
Okay, so can you hear me properly on time? And
you do have a lag, but maybe answer your question, and then after your question, you can log off and log back in again.
Okay. So firstly, I was very happy, in a weird sense of the word happy, because nobody's happy to talk about rape. Rape is not something to be chirpy about. But because a couple of days ago on Twitter, we all had a conversation and women were speaking about just naming ages. I was 12, I was 5, I was whatever age. And it's more or less the next media wave now, where it's a conversation. Women are every single day going through something this extreme. So I was happy to bring light to the experience that I had, and to also help people understand that there's no experience that is worse than the other. Any sort of violation is a violation regardless of how brutal and extreme violent it is. So I think for me, I was more happy to shed light on what I've encountered personally and all the stories that I've encountered and worked with or spoken to people about. It's a scary one. It's a scary time, but it's not far too big for us to not get through or move through it.
Definitely.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it's, I mean, with everything, you know, there's a lot of conversation around gender-based violence that's been happening in the past couple of weeks, you know what I mean? And as Soweto, and I'd like to say as Soweto because rest in peace to Ticho, is because she lived in Soweto. So as Soweto, I know that everybody is up in arms because everybody wants to find out, you know. And at this point, I'm not even going to say she wasn't raped because I don't know, you know what I mean? Although we know that they found her body hanging from a tree, but she could have been raped as well. I mean, anything could have happened at that particular point, you know. But also, Mbali, in your understanding, Tando, in your understanding, when we then spoke about rape, what is your understanding of rape? Umuntu magathi kuwe, I've been raped. Oh, did we just lose her? Okay, there she is. She's back. You. So anyway, I was asking you a question, Uguti. I mean, when I said to you, Tando, this is the topic. What is rape to you? What is your understanding of rape?
When you brought up the topic, I think it was Neo's messages that you had sent through. I besides thinking like a co-host, I need to think as the producer of the show, you know, and with production, I the first thing I thought of is, like rape is so invasive, and my challenge then was to bring dignity to a topic that is about violation and taking away my dignity. And I feel that was like the tricky situation that I found myself in. You know, so it was like a very tricky thing for me to say, let's unpack, let's discuss. And I also wanted to include men, you know, when we were planning this episode. Yes, women get raped, men get raped too, you know. So if we're going to discuss rape, let's not just focus on us. Let it be very inclusive. So I hope today we are able to achieve that, to make this conversation inclusive, to make this conversation about women and men, because men can also be victims of rape even though they are not raped, you know. Women are a victim by being falsely accused. So I wanted us to tread carefully, but I also wanted us to be very open and not be afraid to ask certain questions. We have each other to put each other in check during the conversation. We have our people that are commenting to say, hey, you are losing it, or this is wrong, or this is derogatory. Call us out, guys. This is a sensitive topic, and as much as we're discussing it, we are learning. So call us out when we use the wrong terms. Call us out. Noah is the only person that's gone through it on this platform right now. But call us out, because we are speaking from a place of not knowing. And as much as it's a discussion, can it also be a place where we educate each other?
Yes. So once again, to the audience, please do give us your views on what rape is. Uslindile has said, and I'll put it back on the screen to say, I think rape is non-consensual sex. You know, when I say no in the beginning, it's that. Not what my body says, not what my behavior says, not what clothing says. Also, if I can't say yes, no, that's my thought. You know? So now, I mean,
can we start the conversation from this?
Okay. Go on, Tando.
I'm sorry. I'm happy Slindile said this, because consent I think, can we start the conversation? I'm happy with
Yeah.
the comments we got. Noah, you'll tell me if I'm wrong. But consent is, I think, where the conversation should start.
Okay.
What is consent? Because let's define that. I think that is the best starting point, because it is a consent.
Okay, so I think generally, if you're under 18 or if
so no, I don't know if you
the
can tell
age
us about
that
maybe
has
about
been
your
given, right?
experience and highlighting consent. Like, it starts with consent.
Okay, am I still lagging or are we?
It's because you went back. Let's carry on. Let's carry on. You can go now.
So, number one, consent is having the ability to say yes or no. And if I'm drunk, I'm not in the state of mind to be able to say yes or no. I don't know what is going on. I am not in my right state of mind. So I can't consent to sex. Even though I'm brushing up on you, you should have sense to understand that, okay, this person can't drive a car, can't trust them to drive a car or to speak to their kids or be in front of their parents in the state. Why should I trust them with a decision to experience intimacy with me? And vice versa. So consent is being in the right state of mind to say yes or no. And I think with the age groups, in high school, an older man comes by and hits on you and he flashes all of these amazing things. Are you old enough to be able to say, okay, I actually want to have sex because I want to have sex with you? Or am I saying yes because that's also now coercion to a certain extent, or it is some sort of trade between the two of us? So I think consent is, and it's also continuous. I can withdraw my consent at any point. Mid-penetration, I can say, okay, actually, no, stop. I've changed my mind. I want this. The man can also do the same, and that's where it ends.
I hear you. Okay, so I hear you perfectly. You know what I mean, and I mean, I have a lot of questions to that because you've then given us an example of high school. So you are now speaking to a younger generation of making them understand, because we might have young people as well watching. You know what I mean? And I mean, this kind of speaks to you as well, where you're having the conversations with the young people to say, guys, I mean, you either go out partying and we all have drinks, and you just meet this guy and homonati and you don't remember what it is that has happened, There's a thread that I went through on Twitter. I think it's the same conversation that you're having now, where this girl was exposed and her friend had dumped her at some house or something like that, So as young people, because at that particular point they were young, and I'll say young, of a certain age, how do you have conversations like that with your young people that you are working with, because I'm sure these things do come up, and yes, you are no professional in this, but how do you handle the consent element of it, or how do you have the conversations with them about the yes and the no at this particular point?
I think, like Noah said, we first need to, I think, understand the concept of consent. I think loosely it's a term that's just used. It's a consensual agreement. When you have sex with somebody, you must consent. But I think the gist of it all is there's no way, or in any other point, should you feel pressured into getting into a situation that you don't want to. If you find yourself in that position, you know that you do have a choice to say no or a choice to say yes. And even when you do say yes, it mustn't be because Otaba Horitemba is 10 years older than you, or, Utoro no, and then he's going to be upset at you. You must be able to say no. And if you feel uncomfortable, that's the very same point where you walk away or you say no completely. Because I think we often find ourselves in situations where we sit there and we are uncomfortable, but you don't want to be there, you don't want to do that. But verbally, you can't say much. your body language speaks, and how many of us are really good at reading body language to say, okay, but she looks uncomfortable, you know? So if I don't say it kamolomo, it's almost as if I didn't say it at all. You understand? So I think it's a conversation where you need to be able to say no and let it be that. So don't explain yourself. You know, I was attended a talk like many years ago where this lady was saying one of her topics was no is a full sentence. So I don't need to tell you no because this and that. It's just plainly no as it is, and you must understand that. So I don't have to say no, kicking and screaming. I can say to you, no, I don't want to do it. So the fact that I'm not kicking and screaming and I'm not crying or whatever, it doesn't mean I'm not saying no. And that's it. You know, so you don't need to start explaining yourself and feeling like you owe somebody an explanation as to why you're uncomfortable and why you don't want to do anything. It's just that you don't want to do it. And people need to understand that. We all need to understand that it's okay to hanaka whatever it is that you're also you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's things like date rape, corrective rape, and there was a conversation we had as well around the LGBTQI plus community. Mbali, I don't know
These
if
things get added every time.
yeah, no.
There's a new alphabet all the time. I'm sorry, with all due respect, I can't keep up because I can really say you missed the queer.
Yeah, you know. But anyway, Mbali, with and I don't want this to sound like it's interviewing, ne? I'm trying to kind of involve everyone in this because Nagimi, I don't even know where I stand, you know, because I've never been through it. I don't even know if the questions I'm asking are correct. You know, like Tando said, call us out if there's something, you know. But I noted something here from Utembisile where she says, rape is being violent without consent, you know. To be threatened and silenced after being violated is the worst, especially if you were a child. I've been through it and I'm still healing from it. Thank you for this conversation, Queens. You know, Mbali, from how I knew you, you've always been a big sister. There's something that you once started back in the years, and from the post I sent to you, or between and anonymous, that it was 2016, or it could have been. So now I've noted you after the year. It could have been 2016, where it was Soweto Women Unite. You know what I mean? And from all of this, yeah. So from this topic and from the conversations, I'm sure you've had people come to you and say, "But Mbali, I've been raped." You know what I mean? Sisimbali, I've had this trauma or whatever. How did you deal with it as Umbi? You know, everybody calls you Umbi. How did you deal with it? You know, and why do you think it's important to have these conversations as women? I know you always say as women, we are also problematic, but why do you think it's important to have these conversations?
First of all, for me, because like you say, you're right. I've had people come in my inbox back when I was on Facebook, and they would share, you know, I mean, rape is a sensitive topic, and you don't just speak to anybody. And for me, people coming to me to speak to me, first of all, it meant they trusted me, because trust is a big thing, especially after you've been raped. And I also believe that there's a certain level of respect that they have for me. And what rape also does or is about disrespect. So when someone violates you, you are being disrespected. It is violent. It is beyond your control, and it is about power. So I just think that it used to be very heavy, but I had to put on my big sister hat, if I should put it that way, that this person is coming to me because I'm an outlet. And as an outlet, I may not have the answers, but I can listen and learn, because rape messes up your psyche. It takes a really special kind of personality and character to move away from it. And what actually made me as well agree to being part of this topic is that you included healing, which for me is a very big part. So if people do not find the healing, the rape itself will imprison them from moving forward in anything, because you've decided this is where you want to stay and you're not moving from it. So for me, healing is such a big thing, and it starts with talking, because the more you talk, the more you let it out. The more you realize as well that there's different ways to deal with it within, internally with you, and then being able to then function within society and not being scared. Because I think once you are raped, you are just scared of anything and everything. And it really takes you stepping out and saying, I want to be a different me, regardless of what happened to me. So yeah, it used to be really, really heavy. It used to be really emotional, but I was able to handle it. God willing, I don't even know how, but I was always able to handle it.
Neo, I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, so I think what I want to add on is in agreement with the fact that rape is so violent because you're violating my personal space, firstly, and you are somewhere where you should not be. I have not given you permission to have that much access to me. So here's where the confusion is, and here's where a lot of people have identified that, oh my goodness, I've actually been violated. It's not always violent in the sense that, say you're drunk and you can't give consent. It may feel like, okay, maybe I had a good time, but you wake up in the morning and you're like, I don't remember wanting to sleep with this person, or I'm far too young to even know that I want to sleep with this person. So this is where the variations of it come out. And this is where a lot of women have identified that actually my yes was not given for this to happen. So I did not consent to it at all. That is also the fine line, which I think would require another conversation possibly. But where it comes to consent and where it comes to what rape necessarily is, it's not always violent. And I'll say from my experience, it wasn't some dingy random person in the middle of the street. No. It was somebody who gave me a lift and forced himself on me. And sometimes your body will fail you. I remember having a conversation with a man who said, but I ejaculated, so does that mean that I wanted it? And I'm like, no, but the body does what the body does. If your body needs to fart, your body will fart. I'm sorry to liken it to that. But if your body knows you need to sneeze, you will sneeze. If there is penetration of a certain extent and you climax, it doesn't mean that, yes, you wanted it. No matter how many times you've said no, bodies do what bodies do. That doesn't take away from the fact that you did not want this to be happening. I don't know if that also answers a part of this conversation.
Tando?
I think it answers a huge chunk of this conversation, and by hearing the inputs,
is the delay on my side? Sorry, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. By listening, after listening to this, and especially when it comes to consent, and you also said it's not violence, and you said your body fails you. All these things make me think that maybe I forced a guy to sleep with me and he was my boyfriend and he didn't say yes. And maybe
or you didn't say
I just went and I went down on him, and obviously he's gonna have a hard one. So what does that make me? I just had like a moment now. Because when you're in a relationship, we as Tatela, like we even proudly say, so it scares me because now I'm ticking the blocks of the perpetrator. I'm the perpetrator.
I think that's where it becomes a bit problematic, and that's where the fine line comes.
You can go, Bali.
was lagging. Please.
No,
Yeah,
you're lagging. Okay, so Tando, I'm actually glad you brought the male factor. So, you know, as
sorry. Yeah. Is it me? Let me come back in.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, cool.
So, you know, like I'm assuming from Katlaho's intro, it was based on Soweto Women United. But if you look, Soweto Women United currently it's not there. It's there by name, but it's not there. Purely because I've taken the route with the men. You know, and what you're saying, Tando, is so important. We only align rape with women, right? Because we are the ones that obviously probably experience it more, we assume. And men could experience it on a daily. And what you're saying is that even men in a relationship get violated, but because they are men, they're expected to take it, and it is normal, and the organ functions, even though he said he was not.
Yes.
The organ has a life of its own, guys. So guys do say no, we just don't listen, right? So it makes us as well the perpetrator. So we need to take accountability. And I think the system needs to change where it is male inclusive. Because the system does not favor men, it only favors us. Hence, as women, we are able to falsely accuse men of rape, and nothing happens to us. The guy is accused and he goes to jail. But when they find out that it was false, I don't go to jail.
So on that note, so Tando and I were debating how to start the show, and we're like, there's a common person or common people that we know who have proudly said they have had somebody arrested for false rape. You know what I mean? So Itopic Yako now goes into that to say, because it's not just about the woman, it is about the man. But do you not think, Uguti, now that as Buntle or Katleho, whichever name, right, has accused Neo the male, of rape. Now this person has been arrested and all of that. What does that make me? Why are we not addressing our fellow sisters who put the men?
You're a criminal.
You
are a criminal.
Essentially, you are a criminal. You know what I mean?
Why are you a criminal? You must go to jail.
To call out the woman and say Marambali Borong.
I think that starts with the structure in our country. It starts with our policing. It starts with our social work. It starts with the family structure, even because as in Dr. We still have that mindset, and we need to unteach. We need to unteach people. So I think there's a huge problem with especially our police, because men don't want to go to the police station to report such things because it is in line with their dignity. It is aligned with their dignity. And if we say, when you rape me, you strip my dignity, the policemen strip your dignity too when you go report, you know? So it is a system thing, and there's something wrong with our system. It is not accommodating, and we need to express that.
Yeah,
we really need to express that.
Sorry, Katli, I'll note you after
the lawyer also does the same when you're under trial.
No.
Oh, Neo's network is bad.
Oh, sorry. I was responding to Utando to say even then it goes further into the justice system. So we encourage women to go. My network, that is so bad. Oh my God. Okay. Let me plug it in instead of doing the Wi-Fi. Sorry, guys.
Okay, I'm going to carry on. So now I'm
going to better.
Okay, I think just touching
your mic while you talk about yourself.
Katleho?
Cool. Just touching on what Bali was saying, that it also speaks into the issue of men also being violated. And like Tando was saying as well, it's just on how the whole justice system was designed. I think from many years ago, like it's always just been the system favoring the women and not the system favoring the men as well. So I think it also still goes back down to how men were taught to be men and brought up that this is what a man is supposed to be. A man is not weak, a man is not that, which also fosters that thing. If you've been violated as a man, chances are you're not going to go to the police station and report it because number one, your pride is on the line, your ego is on the line, So it's again still reiterating the stereotype, men don't cry, men can't be weak. Again, then we're still facing a challenge. How do we then go back and try and see how we can better integrate the men into the whole system? Okay, there's rape, men can report it, women can report it without it being such a woo-ha thing. Like, oh my gosh, men can be raped, how? Tando has just said, we've all been through situations as women where we want to have sex with our partners and they just and the body happens and things happen, but you'll never really hear a man come out and say, but I was really uncomfortable, Marwan. I didn't like this. I didn't like that. Because I think chances are I would take offense.
Katla, sorry to interject. Sure. Those conversations actually do happen, and I think as women, we never want to hear them, right? And I mean, being the tomboy that I am, right? I don't have a lot of female friends. So, Notando, I can't really say I've heard all these women talk about it. Or if I'm sitting with B and B will tell me, stories about all these men. For me, I hear these guys saying, "Hey, Marantwana has been and I was very uncomfortable, Mara, because I didn't want to disappoint." Yes. So a lot of peer pressure, a lot of societal pressure also forces us to be rapey. You know what I mean? And it puts us in such uncomfortable positions because you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And because Mbi is older, I know they always say after 30 is a different experience, but after 40, there's also like a different experience. But like for me, I feel like there's a lot that needs to be dealt with from a societal issue. You know what I mean? And Lana, for maybe just stepping back a bit, then also speaks to police training. You know what I mean? Because if our police were trained as to how do you handle a rape victim, how do you handle a Tando walking into a police station and saying, Katleho, I've been raped, this is what I've gone through. Instead of a police dismissing and say, go back and think about it, or however way it is that they're going to treat you. I don't know. I've never been in that situation, so I don't know, but I've only read about the police treatment that goes into it. But I think those are things that need to be spoken about. Yes, Tando?
Can we take it a step back? Firstly, I think, Neo, maybe you can also assist with this. The one thing I want to know is, if I'm raped, what is the procedure? Ne? And I think maybe if I were to go through something like that, the first people I would call is not the police. I remember a while back, I wrote an article, and the first thing in the article, the first line was, "Dear Black mothers and aunts, if I tell you that I've been raped, don't call family meetings, call the police." So when this incident happens, the police are not the first people that I call. I call either my friends, I call my family, or I call maybe a sister like Umbi to reach out to them. How do we handle rape victims? Before police, not as we handle rape victims. How do I handle a young girl who's going to come to me and say, this is what happened to me, when I myself am not educated in the process? And I think that's something that I need us to leave the show. What are the steps? What are the procedures? All I know is that's Melunga case, but I don't know anything past that. I know there's a rape kit. I don't know when it comes in. Do I get it at a shop? Can we educate people on that process? No.
Yes, no.
Yeah, no, please.
It was directed to you, yes.
It was very directed to you then.
So, I had to try and refresh. Is my network better now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Carry on.
Okay, so my personal experience and the experience of many other women that I've encountered is that first thing, you go to the police station. Now, obviously, in between the moment you've just recovered from the rape, sort of, I don't know, that's such weird wording, and getting to the police station, you've called your family. I called my brothers. I called my then boyfriend. I called my friends who knew this guy to say, how about that? This just happened. And what do I do? Went straight to the police station, and it was a wait and a half. Then, after reporting at the police station and putting together your statements, you get taken to the medical legal hospital. So there only are a few that specialize in rape kits. I'm not sure if this has changed yet. As far as I know, no, there was a shortage of rape kits in the country as a whole. So that's where the first problem is. Actually, no, I lie. Sorry, let me backtrack. The first problem is there's no sense of urgency. So you go and report in the same queue where somebody's there for an affidavit. So already you want to turn back by the moment you are getting into the police station. This is why we had a fight a couple of years ago to say there should be specialized sections in the police station where you go straight there to report a rape case, because that is your most sensitive time. You don't know what is going on. You're still not sure if this just happened to you. You're not even sure you're actually alive or breathing, regardless of the extent of it. The fact that you made the decision to go to a police station means that you're taking action. So there are many gaps for you to doubt your decision, right? So fast forwarding to where you go for the rape kit, it's invasive. There's a doctor. Mine was another male who had to insert swabs and check and collect DNA of this other person. So it's very, very invasive without a conversation that says, babes, girl, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to do this, and this is for your own good. So there's no training of emotional intelligence or sensitivity or just taking care of the victim. You're a number. You're just a case number. So I think that's also one of the points in terms of legislature that need to be changed. Training has to be top priority over and above just having somebody who's a police officer there to take a statement or a doctor there to just take DNA and let you go. And then they have to send you for counseling after they've collected all DNA. You can go home. Counseling happened probably a week after the initial rape. Yeah.
Okay. Was
there a question from someone? Sorry,
I wanted you to read the question on the screen. Do you know if it's allowed to go to your GP for an examination? I guess because
can I continue?
Yeah. So it speaks to everything.
I'm so sorry. But, no, it's allowed to go to your GP. Yes, it is.
Oh, we're losing her.
No, we're losing you.
Even your GP has to refer you to the police station, or you have to have a certain form. So it's your GP can't just do the full-on assessment, because essentially GPs, you can get a doctor's note from a GP these days. So that will not be admissible in court. So remember, you have to make the decision whether you are going for examination in order to prevent catching anything from this person or falling pregnant and moving on with your life. Something that is important. Some people don't want to pursue a case. Some people just want to make sure that they are physically fine and move on and deal with their emotional well-being.
She can hear me. Just to backtrack a bit now, and I know your signal is lagging, but I know you're definitely going to hear this, right? somebody commented, sorry, this is on a watch party, to say doubt can be such a complex emotion. Damn, theft of truth, you know. And I guess there's another comment here that says we need to unlearn putting a female face to rape. So that speaks to
Rape.
everything that we've kind of concluded, you know what I mean? And I know Neo is going
Yes.
into the detail of how to go about it and what the process is. So I know it's 7 o'clock. So, Bashali, I'm going to ask us for at least another 15 minutes for us to kind of just speak around all the other touch points. We don't have too much left in terms of all the questions that we wanted to ask and maybe just engaging everyone, you know. But I think, you know, just to respect people and their time, Siyacela, please can we just have like an extra 15 minutes with you, and then let's just wrap it up, because I feel like we just can't leave it in the air to say it's 7 o'clock and the show is over, you know. So between us as the host as well, I hope you don't mind that we will go at least 15 minutes over time with the conversation as well, you know. I know, Tando, you wanted to ask something. Thank you, Neo, so much for at least trying to break it down, you know what I mean? But I think even in that process, it still leaves people hanging to say, because Nya's doubter and maybe I'm not confident enough. Does it mean masing hambi le police station nyekaya angeke ngibuyele na the next day, you know? Or how long do I have to wait? I mean, I guess these are all things that kind of go deeper into the rape topic on its own, you know? So I think we need a part 2 of some sort of dealing with just gender-based violence, which will kind of talk about all these points, you know. So I know, Tando, you wanted to say something. Sorry about that.
I wanted to, my question was already addressed to me, to say with working with a lot of young women and a lot of young men, when it comes to, like Unewa just said, the processes and the procedures that one has to go through when we're reporting this rape case. So in case that means it becomes an official case, a court. I just needed to help us tap into how we give other women mental strength. Because yes, Rapey will accept it, and now she's made the decision that I'm opening a case. She's now fighting a system of injustice. How do we support, be it men or women that are going through this, their mental strength? How do we equip them? Be it spiritually, be it like philosophy or whatever traditionally, whatever way you want to choose or whatever avenue you choose. How do we prepare our people for mental strength? I have a friend who went through a rape case for like over 7 months. I was like, this girl's going back to court every 3 weeks. Like, it is draining. And I just didn't know how to be there because Millennium Serenzi, and I couldn't physically be there. And then I felt like I lacked in my support. How do we support our women and our friends when they are saying, I'm taking this to court and I'm fighting this? Because I think more than anything, that's when they need us.
I think first of all, the victim needs to understand the gaps within the system, okay? Because once you understand that, I think it will help you be mentally prepared, as difficult as it is, because you've been violated through rape. You'll probably be violated at the police station. You'll be violated throughout the court case. And like Neo was saying, even before the court case, you're violated by the doctor who's now, you know, doing the tests. So you have to remove yourself from the victim mentality. It's a hard thing. Not everyone is born like that. But once you treat yourself as, I am bigger than this, right? The people around you as well need to be sensitive enough to understand that some of your days will be more difficult than others. And when they are, they need to allow you to be who you are and what you are going through. But I think the biggest point for me, I just feel healing is personal. You can't tell somebody to heal. They have to want to heal.
Yes.
And that's a big thing. Because if the person does not want to heal, they will not walk the journey of healing. And you know, once you and I can tell you now, with anything, with any trauma, whether it be rape, whether it be shire, if you choose, it's like, okay, let me make a simple example. It's like someone who's been smoking for years, right? You can't live without these cigarettes. And one day they just wake up and they go cold turkey and they never smoke. It's a decision. It is a decision. So if that person, Tando, is not ready to heal, no matter what you say to them, is actually just bouncing off a wall. It will not work.
Okay, from your last statement.
Yeah.
From your last statement, and maybe Kat can answer this, is judgment. So if you're saying it is up to you to decide that you want to heal, ne? I've had instances where I've heard people say, why are we policing people's healing? And why are we getting shocked? Why are we getting shocked with the time frame? Uthi urapiwe sesijiva naye. Uthi urapiwe sekasemall sengaphandle kanti abantu abarapiwe mele bangaqhubeki ngeimpilo zabo. So how do your organizations help our victims to get back into society?
I think firstly, it's to just understand that there is the issue with society now as it stands is we've given time frames to everything, right? So you are a victim of rape, but it's 10 years down the line. Why are you still getting touched? To understand. So already we've given timelines to a lot of things. You've gotten a divorce, you are dating 2 months later. It's too soon. For who? Do you understand what I mean? So it's those sort of timelines that society has placed, and not understanding that with each person, coping mechanisms are different. And the way in which you're going to heal is different for each individual, like Mbali said. So whether I feel like people that are going to say, is people that behind closed doors feel like she asked for it because it's distract. Do you understand? I think that's the mentality. Okay, because I think it's those sort of mentalities that people behind closed doors, but they're not going to say directly to you. So we sit in our little circles now and then to neighborhoods and discuss with him. But do you understand? So it's those things that you think, but guys, it's not because of what I was wearing. It's not because being sepatini that I was raped. We all go to parties, and it's fine. So if that happens to you, it's not because you went out looking for it. Nobody wakes up and decides, okay, I'm going to go. Do you know what I mean? And I think the sooner people understand that umuntu rechiwe is not their fault, and Luana as the victim, to understand that it had nothing to do with you, but everything to do with that person that has issues on its own, as to handle, but instead feels like they want to be macho and feel like a man by doing all of these actions that take away from you as a person. So I think people just need to be understanding and be a bit more sympathetic to people's situations, and stop it with the timeline thing, guys. Hi, man.
On that note, I wasn't laughing at what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always get it. I used to get but you've just been through a separation. Like, why do you want to date again? Why do you want to get married again? Or why do you want to fall in love again? So it's all these titles that people come up with, but like, why you? And people always make us feel like we are all undeserving. So even with the rape victim, we make them feel like they're undeserving of the love. They're undeserving of the community. They're undeserving generally of so many things. You know what I mean? But then that speaks to who we are as well, because the healing process, I think, for one, starts with you. Ne? And I learned this myself through my own healing journey of my own separation and my own anxieties. And I guess healing never stops. You know what I mean? I had a conversation with Mbi yesterday, and I had to stop that conversation because I was like, Yazin, Lala, because I feel like it is now heavy for me and I just don't know where to go. You know what I mean? But healing as well, even with those coping mechanisms, guys, coping mechanism does not mean that is the end and be all. It is what is helping you at that particular moment, from my understanding. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Even the people that are watching to say, from my understanding, it is what I deem right for me at that particular point. It is what I feel I need to do at that particular point. And because when we are not ready, right, we will never we will never finish the course or finish the journey when we're not ready. We can start something, but half of the time we start because Katleho is doing it, Bali is doing it, Neo is doing it, or because society and social media has pressured us so much to say, they can start something so that people can see that I'm doing it, so that I get the validation, and then everybody else around me then thinks that I'm Marasali sharp. You know what I mean? Maramaseng Sukino with social media and everything that is me. I'm now in my bed. I have to put my kids to bed and I cry on my own. That in itself is a lot, you know. So now, I mean, you are back now, and you, because you've been a victim of all of it, so that we also just don't spend too much time. What, like, how do you advise on the healing process of this? You know what I mean? For a person who's either a support structure to a victim, right? Or to a victim, like the girl that posted, I think her name was Timbelite, to say, I'm even trying to get over this. You know what I mean? How do we support people to heal? And also as a victim, how do you heal? Where do you start?
So the first thing, and Mbali, I hope you with me on this. I know you are. See, I'm crossing my fingers with this. Particularly for women, so young girls, there's a little nail there, someone who said to go anywhere or to anybody. But I'm availing myself to say, if you want to open a go police station, or I will go with you to court. Just if it is in your heart to that extent, my support structure is that I will be there, or I will recommend somebody. There will be a string of women that will be around and accompany you, and men, because I had a great support structure. Thank God. It's by God's grace that I've gotten to this point in my healing journey. And it's not all great every day, because the one day you think everything is okay and you catch a whiff of a scent you've never smelled before, and you're on the floor crying because you don't understand that that's your trigger. You've never had it before. So I think speaking out, we've got the Tears Foundation, we've got Power. There are a lot of helplines. I think, can you post them later on?
Yes, definitely.
There are a lot of organizations that assist women, just even if it's just to talk. You know, nobody's pressured to go open a case, because not everybody wants that. Sometimes it's a lot. I will honestly say it is. I don't know how I did it, guys. I don't. But I did.
Can I also
and
add,
even with that, you know. Yeah. Tando, go on.
Oh no, you can continue. I'm sorry. I was just going to say also.
Okay.
Especially to the ladies, sometimes it's right to say, I am not equipped to deal with this. Just because your friend is your friend, it doesn't mean you hold the solutions. Let's introduce, which I think is very important, why you have to post the avenues that people can go to. Because I'm an emotional wreck. I'm going through my own things, and I can't carry other people. Because I'm going to take it emotionally. I'm going to want revenge. And it's coming from what I want to do. And I'll impose it onto you. So it's very important to step back sometimes as a bangani, as a bosisi, as a cousin, to say, get professional help. We're not professionals. Yes, we can be there to listen all the time, but we don't hold to the solution.
Yeah, that's why
choose our friends and our people to these platforms.
That are...
Go on, Neo.
There's Tears Foundation, which we've worked with. I think, can we post all of the contact numbers for these organizations that offer counseling, that offer assistance, or even shelters? You know, there's Tutuzela centers that are government founded to remove you. If your rapist is your uncle, I'm sorry for that, then they can remove you and you'll be in a shelter until they can place you somewhere else or help you better move forward. So I think for me, because that's something that I've been working on doing and trying to do, that's when I do offer my help. And if not, then I can put you forward to other women that can help you, or other organizations that can assist women that have gone through that.
Thank you so much for that.
But essentially, I think what the whole point of this is, it's yeah.
Oh, sorry, there's a lag. But I was saying, thank you for that. We definitely will post the numbers, and then I guess on the thread of the conversations of the show. So to also read a few of the comments so that we're not excluding our audience as well. One that kind of also was very long, from Osim Pomashang, saying support is about being there for the victim based on their pace and how they let you in. Don't force yourself in or question them all the time, but create a space that they know they can reach out to when needed, and that they not always letting you in will not have you as a person feeling bad about yourself. But I think that last paragraph, essentially what she was trying to say is that you shouldn't really feel bad when people don't let you in, because we're all dealing with things differently, you know. And then Kolile says a messed up society we live in, you know. And then Mpo then carries on to say timelines exist because people want to make themselves feel comfortable over what you went through and what they think they would have dealt with, a situation that they have not experienced. And such beliefs hold a person back from working on their healing because they are now worrying about other people and how they will feel. So even in our traumas, we seek to make other people feel comfortable, you know. And there's been so many comments here that have been posted as we're going along as well, to saying, even the guys, I mean, here's a guy, Khositile, that says, it also stems from the rites of passage. We were taught to remain solid and firm, and emotions are a female trait. So this is what we were speaking about as well. Just to recap on the show, when Mbali was saying, Uguti, the men need to be heard, and rape is not just a female face. You know what I mean? You know, and then we've got Lirato and Slindile saying that, and Tlokomelo saying that the charges against the women who accuse men falsely for rape it should be a case, you know? So I guess there's a lot that goes into what rape is, you know. There's a lot that goes into where does the healing start? What is it that we do? And maybe in this instance, we can get professionals that can guide us, because now we're having this conversation amongst friends, because we've got friends that we support as well who are victims, you know. We've got friends that have been through it, but are also healing and saying, like a Neo, I am there to put myself out, you know. And like Kuslindle is saying, if I was raped 10 years ago and being raped Izolo, there's no difference. Rape is rape at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And these emotions will always be there. But just to kind of wrap up the show as well, and I'm so sorry, guys, because we have run out of time. Like even the 15 minutes here to Ipelile, you know what I mean? It's just to give your word of advice, to say, as a sister, you know, as a person within the communities, what is it that you are doing to contribute to good wealth or good health of victims? You know what I mean? But what I'm essentially trying to say is, how are you contributing to people that either are rape victims or people that need support? You know what I mean? And what is our next step as a society, basically, in helping these people?
My solution to everything is always prayer, man. I know it sounds like it's something that's futile and but like I say, we all carry our own demons every day, and sometimes you can't carry other people. That's my solution to everything. I know maybe it doesn't work and it's not realistic, but that's how I can step in. Like I pray, dude. Like I can pray for days. So prayer, spirituality, sometimes that will get you through these things. Explore a lot of avenues, and those things can be the things that carry you.
Katli?
I think from my side is like Noah has spoken about various organizations that help deal with women that need support. I think even if you're not directly involved as a member of society, if you know a place that a young girl that's just been raped can go to rather for help, be able to just give that information. You know, like Litando said, everyone is dealing with whatever they're dealing with. But I think one other thing is just to as well to our families, if can we not have family meetings over things that we bring as young women saying we are raped? Let's not call Malumi and ask him why he raped me. I feel like let's start being more receptive to what our kids tell us. If a child comes through and says, I've been raped, be receptive, receive them with support. You know, if you're going to want to go and call Malumi and ask, again, you put them in a position where they don't trust you as a person or as a mother or as an aunt or rahadi, whatever it is. So let's just be open to that and just give support, and then we'll deal with the rest later, because you don't want to put them in a position where they go seek help wherever it is or get to hush them up because Malume, you're living in Malume's house. Wrong is wrong at the end of the day, whether you are the breadwinner or whatever the case is. So let's just be open-minded when it comes to that and give support where possible.
Okay, B?
Yeah.
Okay, so my parting words are slightly different to your question, Kaki. I think as parents now are very different to our parents and grandparents, right? Parents need to have sober conversations with their boy children, okay,
Yes.
about violation of any sort, because you do not raise your child to understand that no is a full sentence. Then you actually do not know what kind of child you are breeding for the future. So I would say we really, and this is not to say I do not support women. I just feel like there are so many organizations that are focused on women that the boy child is lacking behind, and that is the reason why we have the issues that we have. So really and truly, parents need to teach their child to respect, and by sober conversations, I'm talking be not graphic in a gross kind of way, but making the child understand what sex is in reality. Okay, sex is not, it's not an exchange thing, which is now become, and that is now why also we have so many rape cases, because now we actually cannot tell if rape is real or not. Yes, violation is violation, but when you now read a story that a man was released after 19 years for being falsely accused, you know, it's actually very sad. And these are the conversations that generally mothers do not have, or parents in general do not have with their boy children. Girl children get all sorts of conversations: how to sit, how to handle themselves. You know, they need to learn to cook. We are being trained to handle men, but men are not being trained to handle us. Men are just told you need to provide, and that's it. Everything else, oh well, oh, I wanted sex, I took it. You know, and they don't realize that they are actually doing a discourse to the other gender. So I really, really think and hope.
Can I just add on to what Mbi's saying? Yeah. We are told, like, even in how Black parents raise their kids, I think that's like a very important thing, because if I'm as a girl, I'm told to close my legs, but my brother's not told not to look.
Yes.
You know, so I grow up becoming a victim and he becomes a perpetrator, because that's how we were raised. So I think the problem at home, we need to do a lot in the home front.
So my son is listening and he's giving me these eyes because he's my production assistant, you know, but as Mbi was talking and now Tando's responding, like, you know, so that's why I'm laughing. And I'm like, I like the fact that I have a young boy who's listening, because I don't know how to raise a boy child, you know what I mean? But I'm trying the best that I can. But I like that he listens. And even after the show on Monday, he's like, yo, mama, that was such an interesting topic about fatherhood and so forth and so forth. So I like the fact that there are still other aunties out there that are saying something that mommy wouldn't say, but at least he's understood it and he can ask questions later, So thank you to the aunties because he is listening this one. But anyway, now just to close it off and then we can close off the show.
Now it's lag.
I think still, oh my God, that is not good. Sorry. But hopefully you catch this. I wish you healing, and by healing, it's your personal decision to either talk to somebody about it, to pray about it, cry, feel each and every emotion that you go through, and you can't rush the process. Your healing is not resting or lying in the hands of the perpetrator. Your healing is yours. So the biggest decision you have to make is how do you regain your own power? And for me, it was God's grace. I had an amazing support structure. I cried when I had to cry. And when I could not even understand what was going on, I allowed myself to feel that way. And it turned out that it worked out really well. So I think that would be the advice that I would give out, to say, feel every feeling, but don't stay there. You wake up in the morning and you choose to say, I am above what has happened to me. I'm taking back everything that was ever taken from me, if that's even a phrase that can be used, because we now say it's somebody taking your dignity.
Yes.
But you take it back and you say, look, I gotta live, I gotta be okay. And if I'm not good to myself first, nobody else is gonna give me what I'm searching for in this entire world. So your healing comes from you and from your source of life.
And you're not damaged.
There is support. Yes, you're not. Never. There's nothing that has been stolen from you. You are still complete.
You guys are going to conversate forever. I'm sorry to cut you guys off, but we have to respect people's time. We also have to respect our guests. We have gone 30 minutes over the show and it's been an amazing show. So first time we've actually done a show for an hour, 30 minutes. So yes, this topic, guys, has taken everything of me that was of today, from the long day that I've had, from having to be a mother, still having to be a colleague, still having to be somebody's partner. Like, rough, guys. Like, life is a lot where you've got all these roles to kind of play, But from myself, I'd actually like to say thank you, Tando, for always kind of pushing me. Don't roll your eyes at me. Thank you for pushing me to always be the best, and always making sure that we're having these conversations, even when I'm very doubtful, And to our guests on Around the Table, sorry, English, wow. To our guests on Around the Table, I'd like to say thank you, Siswe, to Umbali, Thank you, Katli, for being the little sister amongst all of us, but being very insightful and being able to engage on something very heavy. And it doesn't move you per se, but you're very open to having these conversations. And now, my friend, you've been a survivor. You've gone through it, from your stories from back then, from everything. Thank you so much for being as strong as you are for other people. And thank you for your humanitarian work and still trying to help other survivors as well, So without wasting any time, guys, I know we want to have this conversation on and on, but I know that there was somebody who said that it could carry on online in the text. So now because it is a topic please do kind of comment on the comment section on anything that you feel that you never got to say on the show and that people might want to ask questions on. So please do carry on. And then Rona from our side is Kabomo as well. And Around the Table, we will post the numbers of the help centers that you have. But thank you so much. Thank you for an hour and a half of everybody's time on a Wednesday. You all are my women crushes, and I appreciate all of you for all the roles that you play in my life. Have a good
next week. Next week.
Have a good evening.
And we're definitely going to try and keep it light next week. We're going to talk about it's Youth Month, topics of innovation, breaking into new industries, jobs of the future. We're definitely going to try and keep it light. Thank you for carrying this topic with dignity and respect, ladies. Have a great evening.
Thank you so much. Good luck, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.